Saturday night.
Time for your weekly dose of pop culture.
With Kathy and Kenny. Welcome to the show.
I got all kinds of madness going here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Saturday night. It is Kathy and Kenny explain pop culture. Hopefully you can hear me. My voice is in and out. Kenny, how you doing? Oh, you know what? I had muted you before the show. So now I'm bringing you back.
Now?
Huh?
My voice is just fine.
Okay. So you'll have to do all the
doing
heavy
good.
lifting. Well, tonight's show, I'm really excited. Although, wait, we lost our guest. What happened?
How was I guess?
I don't know.
Sure.
Because I had a whole scene and now I don't see her in the oh man, I was so excited. What did we do wrong? What did I do wrong?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh wait, you got a new shirt on. You don't have your pop culture shirt on.
You know what? I don't have my pop culture shirt on. I wanted to wear this shirt. I had it on at the function I was doing last night, and I kind of cleaned it off, and I wore it again today. But I just wanted. I forgot to put my pop culture. The bottom line is, I was making dinner, and I forgot to put my pop culture shirt on.
Oh, okay. Hey, that's okay. You're still with the theme. Well, hopefully, that eracism, I remember Uncle Lathy had a eracism shirt.
Mommy was saying the same thing.
Yeah, because that was the
Mom-
first time I saw it.
She asked me, where did I get this shirt? I said, Amazon. I like to get these shirts because when I host different events, I kind of, do things, and I like to have them. Everybody comments on like, "Oh man, you always got a neat saying on your shirt and this, that, and the other," and so I like to keep it fresh.
Well, Mommy said you sold some pop culture shirts, so that's pretty cool.
I sold a whole bunch of pop culture shirts and a couple of Words Out production shirts last night.
Oh, awesome.
So, and before I came on, I was working on my new website, which should be ready for people to view probably in a day or two.
Okay.
Not totally finished, but ready for views. And we're doing some things. We're playing the bass more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's gonna fall.
I've been eating chicken soup and sucking down cough medicine for like the last 5 days.
Your voice sounds like gravel.
No, I sound like Brenda Vaccaro, and that
I know you do.
reference, if ever there was.
You should go do some voiceover for The Simpsons right now.
I know, The Simpsons. So you know what? I didn't do all my fancy graphics. I'm sorry. I was spending time sleeping.
Did our guest come back?
I guess is back. Yes. So
introduce our guest, and then we'll go do the news.
Okay. All right. Let me make sure I got the right buttons in place. All right. Okay. So it's really been kind of cool doing Kathy and Ken Explain Pop Culture every Saturday night. And we have been fortunate to have a few people who always hang out with us. One of those people are in the house tonight. So we are welcoming theScoobylife to Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture.
Now we have theScoobylife here tonight because our theme is going to be TV and movie dogs. So who else knows better about dogs than Scoobylife?
I try.
So, again, just tell us. We know you have a YouTube channel as well as a blog, and I've listed those in the description, so you folks can check that out. theScoobylife, but tell us what theScoobylife is all about.
So theScoobylife actually was started by accident. I had adopted an 8-year-old rescue Weimaraner, and my first senior dog I'd ever had that I had adopted, and I learned a lot about dealing with senior dogs, and then we started traveling and doing little vacations, and I started finding out about really cool places to take large dogs. He was around 70 pounds, and at that time it was really hard to find places that accepted large dogs, and we ended up doing a lot of natural stuff up in the Eastern Sierra, which is like my favorite place, but also locally. And so trying to find restaurants and things like that. So I was coming back with all these amazing pictures from Mammoth and the Eastern Sierra and from glamping. And my friends were like, you should start a blog. So I thought about it, and I knew that there were other people like me that didn't know what to do, but I was meeting other people at all these places that had their dogs with them. And so I knew that there were people that didn't know where to go or what to do. And it was really hard. And people were like, how are you finding these places? And I'm like, it's a lot of research, because just because something says it's dog friendly, it's usually a weight oriented thing. So anyway, ended up doing the blog, ended up posting places that we were going that I really thought was awesome, that people should take their dogs, and then hopped on, and that's on the blog, theScoobylife.com, and then hopped on Instagram, which is our probably biggest um, audience is on Instagram, and met people all over the world. People really fell in love with Scooby. And unfortunately, he got cancer and passed away. And
Oh,
people were just sending me messages from all over the world, because he had just really touched their heart. And I had people messaging me that they never even thought about taking their dog anywhere until they saw Scooby's Instagram and Scooby's blog, and started asking, different health questions, because there's things that came up with his cancer, and we were all sharing information, and ended up finding like natural vets and things like that to help through that process. And then even stuff like hospice and things like that. So there's a lot of information out there that people just really aren't aware of. And there's so many things that you can do for your animals, and having fun is one of them. And then I ended up adopting 2 more dogs about 9 months after Scooby passed away, and they were homeless, and it was a puppy and her mother. And I wasn't planning on having young dogs because I work full time, but they didn't have anywhere to go. And so I went through a whole big learning process with that, because Ella and Luna were what's called reactive, and that's fear aggressive. And so they're scared out of their wits about things, but they're really loud about it. So
Oh,
I didn't know anything about that. I knew a little bit, but not much. And so I ended up having to bump up my dog game and learn so much about that. And now I have non-reactive and reactive, or the girls have non-reactive and that reactive dog friends, all in South Orange County and San Diego. Hooked up with a couple pack groups, and we do pack group walking, and all dogs are welcome, no matter if they have issues or not, which is really amazing. So there's so many people out there that are struggling with issues, health, behavioral, psychological issues, whatever's going on with their dogs, and they just don't know that it's okay and it's normal. And so the whole blog and Instagram is full of all that stuff. And it's just, showing that rescue dogs and reactive dogs and, non-reactive dogs, they can all have a really awesome life, and they can be a lot of fun. You need to up your game. It's the people, not the dog.
right.
okay.
That
All
is so
right.
awesome. I imagine that rescue dogs, depending on the circumstances, probably would have a lot of different issues and a lot of different traumas.
Yeah.
Yes,
Depending on how they were
I've been around
treated.
rescue dogs, and I know people rescue dogs, and they're pretty. I mean, I sometimes I see some of these rescue dogs. I don't know why the people gave him up, because he's a nice dog. He's a good dog.
It's sad that some have issues, some don't.
Yeah.
And then also some issues don't. They're playing with the toys in the background. Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. Some don't know. I mean, it takes a while for a dog to decompress after being in a shelter or a rescue environment. So you don't always know what you're going to get anyway, but it's okay. You can just work through it. And there's people out there. And during the pandemic, a lot of trainers came out that really specialize in all kinds of things. And we've been watching a lot of those. I have that posted on the blog. There's so many cool resources out there that people don't know about, and you don't have to be alone. There's help out there. There's virtual help. There's just, sharing stories and stuff like that. And then um, this man who adopted, or he actually, I think he adopted a pit bull. We've been going to his pack walks in San Diego, and it's for all pit bulls. And there's a whole thing going on with pit bulls across the world right now, and the UK, and it's really sad. And pit bulls are awesome. And so he wanted his dog to have friends. So his friends told him, you should start a meetup. And he didn't think anybody would come. And they have 100 people now signed up
Wow.
in just like less than a few months. And so it's just people are coming from out of the woodwork because they want to have a community. and it's called the Bully Breed Bunch if you're in Southern California. And he's got people messaging him from all over the world also, because there's just huge need that people, they like doing stuff with their dogs, and they want to have fun with their dogs. They don't want to leave them
get a
home.
bad rap, and it's all in how you train them. Because a friend of mine has a small pit, and you go over her house, and actually the little Chihuahua dog she has is meaner than the pit bull. I can't stand that little dog, but the pit bull, he's fine with me. That
Yeah.
little dog I don't like.
Chihuahuas, they're just about the size issue. They
Oh, look at that! Now what's this dog's name? What's this dog's name?
This is Ella,
Ella.
and
Ella?
she's the mama. Go saying hi.
Ella.
Ella likes
I
to
want
kiss.
pet Ella.
Okay.
I'm gonna fly to California just so I can come pet Ella.
She's reacting. So you have to come slowly.
What?
Once she gets to know somebody, both of them, they love them, but it takes them a long time to. They have trust issues, you know.
Oh, really? Okay, no, just like all of us. Just like all of us.
Exactly. Not a bad thing.
Just like the rest of us. Now, one more time for people who are listening, and some people are gonna. Kathy's gonna type it in anyway. Give us, because your Instagram is a site that you have the most followers on, and you get a lot of interaction with people. What is the Instagram one more time?
theScoobylife. It's at theScoobylife.
At theScoobylife. You can't get any simpler than that. At theScoobylife.
Well,
So
the
check
reason
out
with that is because everyone does the life.
I guess if they have any dog questions, they can type in and ask you dog questions and things like that. All right. So, segue. We are talking about dogs today, and we're talking about the TV and movie dog. But before we do that, I want to hit something on pop culture news.
Okay.
Okay. The pop culture news this week, everybody's talking about it. Hold on a second.
Uh-oh, you got visuals.
I need to unpack this. Okay, hold on a second. I need to unpack what this is.
Are you because we have company?
We're talking about Cat Williams
Oh, yeah.
and his video. I ain't never seen a video where a man comes out automatically just taking shots. Nobody was safe. I'm sorry. 4 people were safe. Gary Owens was safe. Prince was safe. Bernie Mac was safe. Mark Curry was safe. Wanda Sykes was safe. Everybody else took shots.
You need one of those flags on your Facebook. Mark safe from Cat Williams.
Yeah, you do. You do. You need a flag. I don't know whether it was Cat Williams is somebody who likes to keep it real anyway. I don't know if it was the liquor talking.
He's been on a few shows. I don't think so. He's been on a few.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the weed talking, the liquor talking. I don't know what it was, but
he was
that's
beating up on
news
Kevin
right
Hart.
now. Huh?
I said he was beating up on Kevin Hart. Was it
He was
you
beating
who
up on
posted?
everybody.
The only reason why Cat Williams was making the news was to be a distraction from the people who were on the Jeffrey Epstein list.
Ooh.
Yeah. I did
Did that
say
come
that. I put that on my Facebook.
Did that list come out yet?
Yep.
I think part of the list.
This is not ain't nobody talking about it because everybody's talking about, Cat Williams blowing up Hollywood.
So what else have you got in pop culture news?
That is all. What else is there in pop culture news?
That's it.
I do have a story about a lady on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't talk about TikTok people enough. There's a lady called the Tunnel Girl on TikTok. Have you heard about this lady?
No.
She's somewhere in Virginia.
Okay.
And she's digging a hole under her house.
All right.
A big hole.
Wow.
Like, she's got a mining shaft down there. She's got mining equipment. She's like getting up the rocks and everything else. And she's using those rocks to make a wall. And now it's on the news because her name is Kayla. Kayla something is her name. what is that? But she's making this big hole, and she's making this dungeon. She's taking a rock. She's talking about making a castle too, and she's making this big underground storage place,
Like a bunker.
like a bunker. Yeah, in the bottom of her house. And they had to stop it because the neighbors are worried about her digging, and is she still in her property range? And is she is she gonna cause a sinkhole?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And that's how much dig. And then you gotta see the videos because I was watching videos today. I was kind of entranced because she's like into it.
It's like
She's like
the movie
scary into
Blast
it.
from the Past.
Like if I was single, and then I mean I am single, but if I was in Virginia, she is a woman I would not try to date because you might get buried. You
Did
don't
see
know
the movie Blast from the Past?
what.
The movie Blast from the Past with
I've never seen it.
Brendan Fraser and Alicia Silverstone.
Never
I think I
seen
saw
it.
it.
Yeah, but basically, Christopher Walken, he built I guess a bunker under his home, and in case they dropped the bomb, and evidently they lived down there for like 30 years, and then the son finally comes out to get all these provisions or whatever, meets and falls in love with Alicia Silverstone. It's a cute movie. You need to put that
I
on
don't
the list, Kenny.
have to put it on the list for me too. Also in pop or in news is what the 8-foot men in Miami. You've been following that?
The 8-foot
There was
man.
yeah, so just Google it.
Okay.
No, there's
I've been sick all week, so I've been
there's a
like
whole thing about maybe
sleeping.
aliens. Like the whole police force of Miami and everything was at this mall in Miami, and it hasn't even made the news. But a few people who live in the area knew about it, started posting about it, and they're talking about that was it aliens and all kinds of stuff because it was really crazy. And for some reason, it's not on the news. They're just saying it was teenagers.
Oh, okay.
It was like a sea of police. So and that's on
Really?
the
But
mhm.
if you're an
8-foot man.
alien, are you really going to come to a mall?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
It could have been a guy on stilts.
It's something more than just teenagers fighting, though, for sure. So
Yeah. And well, I believe there is life on other planets. I believe there's aliens probably walking among us. I believe I might really be one of them. So yeah.
I
So
cannot.
on to our what? No, seriously though. On to our animals. Let's start with our TV animals,
Okay.
and then we're gonna go back to our movies.
All
Is that
right.
okay with you?
That's fine. You can start wherever you want. Cause like I said, I didn't do graphics this week. Cause I've been
You should have told me. I would have picked out graphics
okay. I'm
because
sorry.
you know what I did today?
What'd you do?
I helped your mother with her plants. I would have gladly.
Oh, I
picked out
heard
graphics.
you got a green thumb. You were helping with the
Yes.
plants.
Yes, I would have gladly. Why am I not seeing the comments? Hey, Steve.
You can't see the comments? I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make them a little bigger.
No. I can't see them on my separate screen.
Oh, okay.
Steve
Oh,
has a dog. I know he has a cat. Did you bring him
Steve
up?
has a cat. I used to work with Steve years and years ago.
Oh, I thought you worked with Ed.
Yeah,
You
me,
work with
Steve, and
Steve?
Ed all work together.
Oh,
Wait, I
that's-
was Steve on Archer. Is that Archer or another Steve?
oh, this is
No, that's
another
not Steve
Steve.
Archer. No,
Take
that's
that back.
another Steve. That's another
Archer has
Steve.
got it.
Yeah, actually, we're talking pit bulls, and I know, like last week or a couple weeks ago, my friend India Delgado, she has a YouTube channel as well, but she stopped by. She has a pit bull that was a puppy, I think, when she got her like pit bull, but she's always kind of featured in her videos, kind of hanging out in the background.
Yep.
I don't know. I think I'm too messy for a dog. If you look at my studio, a dog would probably get lost in here.
It's easy to pick stuff off the floor and off the counters.
Well, we're going to start with one that I'm really not that familiar with, but I know a lot of people are familiar with. Ren 1010.
He was a German Shepherd. That much I know.
And I put Ren 1010 at the bottom of this list because Ren 1010 was actually a cartoon and live action.
Oh,
unlike everybody else.
See, you're going back to the 50s. I don't go back that far.
I barely remember that one.
I went a little bit far back.
Okay.
What is that arrow coming across my thing? Okay.
Arrow. I don't know.
Yeah. And next we have a very famous cartoon movie one, Bolt.
That's
Who's voiced by
animated?
John Travolta.
He was what?
Voiced by John Travolta.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Bolt. That was a good movie. It was actually a good movie.
The movie was called Bolt also?
Yeah. Movie's called
Okay.
Bolt.
I remember him. I didn't know the movie was called that.
And then you have, now, if you didn't know this dog, then I guess, well, a lot of young kids probably don't. Huckleberry Hound.
I love Huckleberry Hound.
Didn't Huckleberry Hound have a son?
What?
Didn't Huckleberry Hound
He did.
have a son?
I think so. Like a little mini me.
Yeah.
I think so. That's going in my memory bank, but I think so.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Huckleberry Hound. I can't.
And I couldn't do a dog list without adding Wonder Dog. Wendy, Marvin, and Wonder Dog.
Oh.
Love Wonder Dog.
What cartoon was that?
Wonder
That's
Dog.
Super Friends.
Wasn't it Wonder Dog?
It was.
Yeah, Wonder Dog was the Super Friends.
Oh, he was part of the Super Friends.
Yeah, Wonder Dog was Super Friends, and then they upgraded and got rid of them kids and got some aliens with powers.
Oh, I don't
And a
remember
monkey.
that.
Yeah, I don't
The
remember.
monkey could spin his tail and fly if he wanted to. But
In the
before
Wonder
that, Wonder Dog.
In the Wonder Dog era, it was also Hong Kong Fooey. I loved Hong Kong Fooey.
Yes.
Oh,
Fooey. I forgot about Hong Kong Fooey.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Voiced by Scatman
Boy,
Crothers.
so far.
Voiced by Scatman Crothers, Hong Kong Fooey.
Oh yeah?
No
Oh,
super
really?
guy. Yeah, Scatman Crothers voiced Hong Kong Fooey.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
check the tape.
Yeah.
Also, if you're from the future, which I believe there are some people around here who are, this time travel in the future.
All right.
Astro from the Jetsons.
Oh, Astro.
Astro.
The
Now,
Rut Road.
speaking of, would you consider Dino, even though he's a dinosaur, a TV dog? Because they kind
No.
of treated him like a dog.
He's a dinosaur.
Yeah, he's a dinosaur.
I thought about putting Dino on this list. But I say he's a dinosaur. He's not a dog.
Yeah, I liked him.
You liked him. He was cool. Everybody liked Dino. I am sad, though, when Dino first appeared, he talked. And then the next time they stopped him from talking altogether. Because he was a wise ass. And he always gave, like Fred, these wise ass answers. And they stopped Dino from talking. But then they realized they needed a wise ass. So in the last couple of years, they got, Gazoo.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they got the little green guy from the future, Gazoo.
Did
Oh, that's
a
right.
pet?
Huh?
Yeah, kind of like
Did the Rubbles have a pet?
Nah. Yeah, they had a saber-tooth tiger.
Oh,
Go
okay.
figure.
You got to keep up with the neighbors.
Yeah, you got to keep up with the neighbors. Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. There is a theory, since they were made by the same people, that the Jetsons and the Flintstones were lived at the same time. The Flintstones are prehistoric on the bottom because something had happened that made the world go back to prehistoric age. But the people who weren't prehistoric, because all the Jetsons were floating in the sky, they never hit the ground. So the theory is that the Jetsons went on above the clouds and never went down, and the Flintstones were always on the ground in prehistoric time because something happened to the world where.
I never heard that theory.
I heard this theory, Kenny, and I doubt you even saw it on the internet. I kind of think this is a theory that's been floating around in your head for like the last 30 years.
I'm telling you, it's one of those theories that goes around, and I'm telling you, it's something. I'm telling you, if you look at it on the internet, the Flintstones, Jetsons theory, you will find that.
Well, they existed at the same time on TV, so.
Yeah, there you go. So here's one I think is more for the millennials, what was Barney's occupation? Barney was a pimp. You never knew what Barney was doing. He was a pimp.
Didn't he work at the quarry with Fred?
No, Barney didn't work at the quarry. They drove. They drove to work together, but you never knew what Barney worked. Maybe Barney worked in the office of the quarry because he was a small guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they worked together because
I'm telling you though, Betty was hotter than Wilma. I'm just saying. But anyway,
okay. Kenny and his theories. All right, my brother.
all right. So here's one for the millennials because this is a dog I've never watched or whatever. Clifford the Big Red Dog. I'm too old for Clifford. I never really watched. I don't even know if my kids watch Clifford. They probably did, and I just wasn't paying attention.
Wasn't he on one of those cable shows that?
Yeah.
Was he? Okay. Was he?
I think it was on like PBS
cartoon.
I don't think my kids watched because I think he was on the same channel that little whiny kid was on, and it was back to back. So I forget the little whiny kid's name. Caillou, that little whiny Caillou kid. He was on. Clifford was on the same channel as the YU, and I couldn't. My kids were not allowed to watch Caillou.
Again, a language I don't know, but go ahead.
No. And that's why all my kids live. That's why all my kids are alive today because I never had to kill them for watching Caillou. So, Brian from The Family Guy, my favorite cartoon dog. Brian from The Family Guy is my favorite.
Right, because of the sarcasm.
Yeah.
There was nothing better than the time, because they treated Brian like a regular person. And he took Meg to the prom. So the dog takes Meg to the prom, their daughter to the prom. And Meg is always getting picked on by this, by the hot girl, kind of like a Mean Girls theme thing was. And then the girl comes up to them and says, dogs are not allowed at the prom. You can stay, Brian, but Meg, you got to go. And I was like, oh,
that's mean.
And then Brian kind of laid into it. It's like, well, let me tell you something. And she goes, no, we can go, no. Let me see if I figure this out. You pick on Meg because you started to develop early and now she has a slamming that, and then when you're 19 and all used up that even your stepdad doesn't want you. And that's part. It's just the way he goes into her. It's like, it's great. It's great. I love it. Who remembers Dino-Mutt?
I don't remember Dino-Mutt.
I remember the name. I don't remember anything about him.
Yeah, it sounds
Dino-Mutt. The Blue Falcon and Dino-Mutt. It was a cartoon.
Okay.
The Blue Falcon. You guys don't know Dino-Mutt?
I know the name. I never saw anything.
Tell us about Dino-Mutt. 30 seconds.
No, I'm not going to tell too much about Dino. He was a superhero. He was a superhero dog that traveled with Blue Falcon, and he was I think he was a robotic dog because he could do different stuff. And Dino-Mutt saved Blue Falcon's behind a lot of times.
Okay.
But he was like, All right, so
because we don't remember.
I'm just, And next, we're going to go to one of your favorites, probably, Scooby Life. Scooby-Dooby-Doo!
Yep.
The only dog on this list that was undoubtedly on drugs.
Yes.
Because come on.
Shaggy was smoking, and he was blowing it in Scooby's face, or either giving Scooby some. It was obvious. And it's funny how you watch that show. You didn't realize Scooby and Shaggy were high until you got to be like 17, 18. Wait a minute.
Until you got older and you were like, what are we watching? Well, that's half of the cartoons, because I remember even taking George when he was a kid to movies, and some of the stuff they throw in there, I guess it's for the adults. You're like, is that appropriate?
Yeah.
I think
I
even
remember when I took George to see when George was a kid, and I took him to see Aladdin, and there was a lot of things that Robin Williams said that had me cracking up.
yeah.
So and like the kids didn't get it, but Scooby Doo. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but on HBO, there was a show that a lot of people didn't like, but I thought it was great. Thelma.
Mm-hmm. I remember it. I don't think I watched it.
It was on. It was on like a year ago, like
Okay.
last year. It was a cartoon, and Thelma was the one with the glasses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Thelma was gay for Daphne, and Fred was a rich kid that they had to get out of jail, and it was like
It was a live
all
action or
no,
cartoon?
it was cartoon,
Oh,
but the
okay.
cartoon was very adult.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
It was a very adult cartoon,
Hmm.
and it was and a lot of people didn't like it. The comedian Mindy, what's her name?
Kaylin.
Yeah, Kaylin. She was behind that.
Okay.
And they made Thelma a girl with an Indian background, and her dad was kind of weird. Her mom disappeared, and all this other kind of stuff. And she was trying to figure out.
They do that to that cartoon.
It was a very look.
Create a new cartoon.
It was very weird cartoon, and it was very much out there. It was nothing like the Scooby Doo show, and they never really got in a van and solved mysteries. I don't think it's Scooby Doo. So it's probably the only time you would see it's a kid's like a teenage kid's fantasy. The only time you would see Daphne and Thelma make out in this cartoon.
What's Kathy doing?
So we're going to go to the next one.
All right.
The next one, we're going to go a little lightweight, and we're going to go to Pluto, Mickey Mouse's dog.
Oh, that's right.
Which brings us to Goofy.
Mm-hmm.
And people wondered, why is Goofy able to talk and Pluto not?
Wait, Pluto didn't talk?
No.
He was actually really a lot of dog mannerisms. He was always wagging his tail, and he was really like just solid dog.
He was Mickey's dog.
Yeah.
Just a dog.
But
Of course-
Goofy and all his friends, they were walking around talking.
And driving.
Gloves on.
Oh, you know what? In fact, George says that the Goofy movie is basically saying that Goofy is black or is a black movie. According to George, the Goofy
According to George, yeah, the Goofy movie
is
is
the
a black movie.
blackest Disney
It is.
movie.
Yeah. According to my son, Goofy movie is the blackest DC movie. Because
Black
I don't know though, because he had some, because of Max. Because of Max.
Because of some of the mannerisms, I guess they gave.
Max. Yeah,
Okay. All right. So what is your
So
number one
last but
TV
not least,
dog on your list?
You cannot have TV dog, and this dog kind of goes to movies also, but you cannot have, I think, one of the most famous dogs, Snoopy.
Ah,
Love Snoopy.
Snoopy, come home. Snoopy, Snoopy, Snoopy.
hey, oh Snoopy.
Snoopy, Snoopy, hang on.
Okay, no,
So,
keep singing.
Snoopy,
And his sidekick Woodstock. They were the
yes,
cutest.
Woodstock, yes.
Little bird.
Yes. Woodstock wasn't always there, though. Woodstock didn't come till later, right?
Yeah, he came later. I like Woodstock.
He was around for quite a bit.
Mhm.
All right.
Hey, Kathy.
Before you go to the movie list, let me, in my hoarse voice, try to give a few announcements.
Would you like me to
All
do
right.
it?
Thank you for hanging out with us as always on a Saturday night. Kathy and Kenny explain pop culture. You can visit us on our website, kathyandkenny.com. Also, check us out on Who's Got Next Radio. But if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Join us in the comments. Let us know your favorite TV or movie dog. And again, check out the description for information on our special guest, the Scooby Life, where you can check out her blog and vlog, as well as YouTube channel and Instagram. All right, I'm done.
That's a nice job in your horse voice. I'm
My
impressed.
horse voice.
I
Exactly.
am impressed. I am impressed.
Uh,
So, we're gonna go to our movie list. Before we go to our movie list, Scooby Life, could you tell us what is the best way when you get a new dog to figure out their foods or their, like, you know what I mean? Because when you get a new dog, you don't know what he's going to want to eat, do you? Or do they know at the shelter and they just...
No, they at the shelters and stuff, they're just basically getting donations and whatever they can get to feed the dogs. So there's a whole it's very controversial actually, and there's a whole raw food movement, which I'm not opposed to. It just grosses me out. But there's a book out by a veterinarian. Her name is Dr. Karen Becker, and her co-writer Rodney Habib. It's called Forever Dog, and you can find it on Amazon or any bookstore. And they go through all the dietary stuff, how to feed your dog. You really don't want to be going with manufactured foods, just like us. It's just that wasn't invented until dog food wasn't invented to the 1960s. So they should be eating,
Really?
yeah,
I
they
didn't
should
know
be
that.
eating human grade foods. So my guys have frozen, which is lightly cooked, and you can get freeze dry raw, but you just basically want to introduce them slowly into something. But I would say just educate yourself, maybe read the Forever Dog book. Then that gets you kind of into this whole world. But we have, we do a lightly frozen, we do just food for dogs. And then there's a local company that makes lightly cooked frozen food. And then you just thaw it out and feed it. And then I do a freeze dried raw, which is not gross because it's freeze dried. So it's just powdery. It's like little hamburger patties. And I crumble those up on top. And then there's a whole list, and on my blog also, there's a whole list of any vegetables that you're eating. You should check to see if it's dog friendly, because if it is, then you can throw it on top of your dog's food. You know, talk to your vet. But for the most part, anything that you're eating except onions, you can let them have beans or green beans, spinach. Broccoli is like a number one awesome thing. Carrots, you just have to make sure they don't choke on them and everything. But I would say switch them over to healthy foods, human grade. You can cook for them too. There's recipes in that book. But once you get into that world, there's a whole Facebook group of veterinarians that teach you how to feed your dog too. So it's just whatever works for you. I can't cook. I can cook. I don't have time to cook dog food. So, or make dog food, and also the whole raw thing grosses me out because they should be having things that necessarily I wouldn't want to eat. But they should be having those things, because in the wild they do eat organs and stuff like that. And so I just buy it because I don't want to, I don't want to make it. But you just let them start them out something healthy for the beginning, probably just some chicken and rice with some carrots or something in it and broccoli, just to
I
kind of
had a
get their.
roommate who did that. I had my last roommate. I had last year. Him and his girlfriend. They had like 2 dogs, and they fed them. They would make rice every night for them, and they would heat up. You know, they would cook up some chicken or something, and put the chicken and rice together, put them in the pan, and boom, they wouldn't go out and buy dog food.
Well, they need to get nutrients. So Just Food for Dogs makes it's like seasoning in a can, and it has all the extra nutrients in there. They do need vegetables, because even in the wild, when they're eating animals, they're eating or not wild dogs, but coyotes and stuff. They're eating the vegetables that their prey ate. So the vegetables are in there. So our big things are broccoli, spinach, carrots. They need to all be lightly cooked. I do roast them because they taste good for me, and then it makes me eat healthier because I make a big batch for them and for me. And they can have a lot of things. You just Google it, or you can look on my blog, and you can look in the books, and you can look on these groups on Facebook too, and they'll give you a list of things that they can have. They
So
really should be
don't give them like cheesecake.
no. Don't give them anything Anything, if for the most part, if it's not good for us, it's not good for them.
Now, when I get my dog, And I like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So if I make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and I cut half of it and eat that, and I put the other half in the dog's.
They don't need the bread.
They
Give
don't
them
need the bread.
You can give them a little bit of. I'm not a vet. Let's just clarify that. But you can
Right.
give them a little bit of peanut butter, not a lot, because that's a little
Yes,
bit
people.
controversial
Yeah.
too. No bread. They don't need
a
bread.
disclaimer: we're not veterinarians.
Yeah, I'm not a vet. No bread.
Now, I can't wait.
No jelly. No jelly.
No jelly.
No jelly. Now I can't wait to get when I get a dog, I make a nice dish of tuna fish and pork and beans, and I mix it together. I think the dog will like that.
Oh, that's just wrong. Nobody likes that.
A little bit of fish. The rest of it probably not.
Right.
They won't eat the pork and beans?
It's
Probably
probably
not.
not good for them.
Huh? Is what?
It's probably not good for them. You
Really?
gotta think plain. plain stuff, plain fruits or plain vegetables, not anything that has sauces and things like that. It's usually too rich for their stomach. And also, back to your question, when you get a pet from the shelter or rescue, which please do, because we're at capacity pretty much across the country, especially in California, just their stomachs are going to be a disaster for a while. So just keep that in mind. Don't have all these expectations. They just went through something majorly stressful. Their diet's all over the place. They're getting whatever that the shelter had at that minute to feed them.
When you try to introduce them to different foods and stuff like that, they might get sick and throw up.
Yeah. I would keep it very basic, very simple. Chicken rice with some veggies that you know is okay for dogs, and that pretty much is going to be broccoli and carrots. You're pretty safe with all that, and just let them adjust. And then you could go get those seasonings from Just Food for Dogs, because at least it gets it nutritionally balanced, because they do need nutrients that, like we do, that they're not getting in food. So,
because when dogs have any kind of medication, they put it in their food, right? So,
yeah. Now, you're not a doctor, you're not a veterinarian, but in your experience, does a dog have to have meat?
Well, that's actually no, I don't think so. And there are some vegetarian diets, and
For dogs.
vegan diets. And
Yeah.
there are some veterinarians in this holistic group that I follow. They're board certified veterinarians, but they also went the extra mile and got holistic training and stuff like that. And some of them are vegan and vegetarian themselves. And I'm borderline vegan. I'm vegetarian for sure. And I do a little bit of eggs and sometimes fish and stuff. But they are doing pretty much straight vegetarian diets, and the dogs are thriving. So if you're having meat, just like for humans, I mean, dogs and cats and birds are like the canaries in the coal mine. So if you're not buying organic, grass-fed, pasture-raised, no hormones, no antibiotics, all of us, people and animals, they're ingesting all that stuff. And you also need to have humane raised, because the animals are being tortured and abused in a lot of these processing plants. So that's a lot of stress. And it's terrible that's happening. B, it's also all the stress that the animal is living under. And then you go and eat all that cortisol. There's so much. Once you start getting into this world, you learn a lot. So if you're going to feed them meat, make sure, and for yourself too. So if you're going to go out of your way to make food for your dogs, you're going to start eating way healthier, because you're going to learn all this stuff that's going on with food that's going to totally gross you out.
Right.
And so you'll start eating a whole lot healthier. And
I have a friend who's totally vegan and will not eat meat. And I was thinking about somebody, if she had a dog, somebody like her, like who probably doesn't have any meat in her house at all, if she was cooking it, then she would, if she had a dog, that dog would have to be vegetarian like she is.
Yeah, there are vegetarian and vegan diets, and she can source that out, and she can talk to the vets and stuff like that. And usually it's going to be the veterinarians that are online, and there's all these Facebook groups and stuff like that, and the books and things like that. And she needs to find a veterinarian that kind of is open-minded in her area as well. They do exist. They're hard to find. But you also have to do what's right.
I know a lot of people with dogs, and they say, like, sometimes they let their dogs out And in Jersey, it's a lot of country in Jersey and a lot of woods and animals. And you'll have like raccoons or beavers or little squirrels running around. And their dogs will eat a small animal if they have a big dog.
They
Will
won't.
eat a rabbit or something like that. So I was saying something like that, like a dog that would eat something out in the wild. Could you make it vegetarian?
Yeah, I mean, you have to try it. I mean, every animal's different.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have vegan friends and they still feed dog food like I do, but my stuff's like, I'm making sure it's quality, doesn't have antibiotics and all that stuff in it. But it's out there. You can do do what's right for the dog, basically. And if you are
Yeah.
doing vegan and vegetarian, you want to make sure they're getting all their nutrients and if they're not thriving that way, then that's not the way to feed them. But some dogs really thrive.
Wow.
And maybe it's because they're not getting the bad meat,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of stuff in our food that we don't realize.
Yeah, that we don't realize it's in
Sure.
our food. Yeah.
And I'm
Well,
sure that
realize you open your eyes and start investigating it. So
when we hear the advertisements for like I guess the farmer's dog and the different foods that they have, like they actually have a refrigerated section now with dog and cat foods. But again, they're getting the parts of probably, for those of us who eat meat, the parts that we don't eat is probably what they're feeding or
yes.
processing for cats and dogs, which might not be the best thing for them.
The best thing you want to do is make sure, I mean, people eat a lot of parts of the animal. That's fine. I don't, but you want to make sure it's human grade. And if you can go even further and make sure it's organic, you're better. And then if you can make sure it's cruelty free and humanely raised and pasture raised and all those things, all the ways you should be treating your animals. You just keep going down the line and it narrows down the food pool pretty fast.
So we're going to go on with our list here. And these are the movie dogs. I should have both in this list of movie dogs, but I didn't. But we're going to start from the bottom here. Very popular movie that, yes, I haven't seen this movie either. But Hooch from Turner and Hooch.
I can't believe you have. Okay. Anyway.
It just, look, if I'm looking at it, if I'm looking at the advertising, it's not my kind of movie. I'm just not going to watch it.
It's not my kind of movie either. I actually remember seeing this in a theater.
Damn sure
in New York, and the only thing I don't know what kind is that a Saint Bernard he had, the kind with the
Turner and
drool.
Hooch?
Yeah, but Hooch.
I don't remember. I don't even remember what kind of dog it was.
It was Tom Hanks, but the dog. It was the dogs that drool with the.
I don't think that. Yeah, a Saint Bernard.
Yeah,
It might have been a Bernard. I can't remember.
because it
Yeah,
was just all
I live
over
with a
the
Saint
place.
Bernard. They do drool a little bit sometimes, but the Saint Bernard, my friend had that when I stayed with my friend. The Saint Bernard they had the dog was so lovable. All you want to do is hug it.
Oh,
Here's one, and I put it in the movies because it originally showed up in serials in the 30s and 40s.
But I
Petey
remember from
from the Little
TV.
Rascals. Petey from the Little Rascals.
Rascals.
Petey. He could have been a TV dog because a lot of us saw him on TV at our age. But, he's really showed up on the serials before the movies in the theaters. So,
what did he look like? Was he the little white dog with a spot on his eye?
Yeah.
I think he was a pit bull.
Oh,
No, he wasn't a pit bull. Was he a pit bull?
Wasn't he one of those little pit bulls? I think he was like Spuds McKenzie. Was he like that? Or was he that?
He did look like Spuds McKenzie.
You're going to have me look this up.
I think he
looked like Spuds McKenzie, come to think of it. And
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And actually, Kenny, I don't know, your list is kind of crosswise because the next two dogs on your list are from TV, not the movies. Because you have Comet from Full House. And I don't remember what kind of dog had on Full House.
My second list is, okay, my second list is live action dogs. My first list is cartoon dogs.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Petey was a pit bull terrier.
Told you.
All right.
So Spuds McKenzie was, and so
Yeah, I doubted you, Scooby Life, and
I was having to really think about that one. I haven't seen that forever.
Yeah. So these are live action dogs. Comet from Full House.
Now, was he on the reboot?
Oh, he was dead by then.
Okay. Well,
I didn't
I
watch
don't
the
think,
reboot.
I don't think there was a dog in the reboot.
okay.
They didn't have the budget for that. They barely had the budget for the reboot. Damn it, they didn't have the budget for that.
Oh, you know what? I liked Eddie from Frasier. I remember
I
that
never
dog.
really watched Frasier.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, and I don't think they have a dog in the new one because I watched a couple episodes of the new Frasier. It's
Well, that
actually not
dog's
too
probably
bad.
dead. The dog's dead, man.
Oh, you know what else I watched, Kenny? I did watch the new Night Court. It
Oh,
wasn't
you
that
watched
bad
it in like
either.
what?
Yeah,
You like it?
it was pretty good. I actually liked. It's the
Good,
girl
that's good.
from the Big Bang Theory,
Yeah, it's girl from the Big Bang Theory without the high voice and
Melissa Rauch. Yeah, I
without,
actually I enjoyed it, so I might watch a couple more episodes of that.
she looks better on Night Court than she does in Big Bang Theory.
Mhm.
In the
On
Big
Night
Bang
Court,
Theory,
she
the
looks like
high
the
voice
girl from
and the
Mom.
bangs and everything. It was like, oh my god, this woman's too much.
In Night Court, she looks like the girl from Mom. You ever watch Mom with Allison Janney? And
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen a couple of those. Yeah,
okay,
I love that woman.
funny.
She's great. I love her. She goes somewhere on my Hollywood women's list, like
Oh,
somewhere below Whoopi
okay.
Goldberg and
All right.
Sandra Bernhardt and Janet
Who else is
Jackson.
on your list? We gotta write it down.
His radar's still on.
I know.
Wow, Scooby Life, really? You're doing me like that, really?
She listens to the show.
Okay. Anyway,
Poor Kenny.
You're funny.
and I saw. Speaking of Sandra Bernhardt, I saw a little interview snippet of her, and I think if I ever met her, I think I would have a shot because in an interview she was praising black men.
Okay, Kenny.
I don't think you have a
You're
not her
5 minutes. Wrap your list up.
Okay, so next we got Beethoven,
Beethoven.
clearly a Saint Bernard,
Yeah.
and they made sure they showed you the slobber in that movie. Old Yeller.
Yeah, that's on my
I've
list.
never seen Old Yeller.
Oh,
Oh, it's
I
yeah.
hear
You
it's
need to see it.
sad. I
It's
don't want to see it.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's sad. Of course, we got Benji,
Benji.
mm-hmm.
and of course, we got Lassie.
Mm-hmm.
And the most
And how
famous
do you
live
have a
action
full
dog.
list of live action dogs without Toto?
Yep.
Toto.
Toto.
All right, who do we miss?
There's a dark one you missed, Cujo.
Oh God.
I was trying to stay away from Cujo.
Oh my
It's a little
goodness.
Poor Cujo. Poor Cujo was misunderstood.
I was trying to keep it family friendly.
Cujo.
With the Jetsons, I mean, with the
Who you got?
the
You had Brian from the Family Guy. That wasn't necessarily.
Yeah, but Brian's funny. Brian's funny. I think I'm gonna get off of here and watch some Family Guy when I leave you guys. Yeah, I think I'll watch some of that tonight.
All
But
right.
no, Cujo.
I'm getting
I'm
some
trying
hot
to think who else we missed because I did say Old Yeller.
Okay, I'm
Oh,
looking
you know
through.
who we missed?
Who?
The dog from the Brady Bunch that disappeared.
Oh, what was his
Ah.
name?
You know who we missed?
Marmaduke. Thank you,
He's been in
Dara.
the cartoon dog, so that's a famous dog. Actually,
Yeah,
a woman I
Marmaduke.
worked with has a real live Marmaduke. Her dog is about as big as her, and when he puts her paws on his shoulder, he could practically knock her down. But yeah. One of my coworkers, Murray, she has a Marmaduke. That's what she calls him.
Wow. I gotta remember the name of the Brady Bunch's dog. Was it Spot?
It might have been Spot.
Spot.
I know he caused a big ruckus at the wedding in the
It
first
was
show.
a simple name like that. It might have been Spot.
But didn't they have to get rid of was it the dog or the cat? Because like
The cat
girls
disappeared. They
had a
never
cat,
changed
the boys had a
cat.
dog.
The boys had a dog. The girls had a cat. After the wedding, the cat was gone. I think the dog ate the cat.
It's raining cats and dogs. They're not getting along. Yeah, so we did miss Marmaduke, DJ. Thank you.
Marmaduke, yeah, we did. Tiger was the Brady
Tiger
Bunch.
was the
dog.
Brady.
Tiger.
There you go. Tiger was
Tiger.
the Brady Bunch.
And
dog.
Alice was, come on,
Right.
Tiger here, Tiger here, Tiger. Alice was trying to get Tiger, and Tiger was trying to get the cat, and the cake went in the air, and Mike and
remember.
Carol's wedding night was spent with the kids in the room with
Love a good Brady
I
Bunch.
wouldn't have picked up my look. When I got married, I had a son, and my wife had 3 kids, and we did not pick up them kids on our wedding night. We left them kids back alone. We didn't care if they was by themselves.
That's
Actually, we left
I'm
with
not
Kathy.
gonna say anything because the smart thing I would say is
We left it with Kathy, really.
Yeah, was Kathy.
No. Scooby, you're gonna love this. We left the kids with Kathy, and there was food left over after the wedding, and there was liquor left over after the wedding. We came back the next day, and some of the people from the wedding party and my sister were outside trying to finish the tap, trying to finish the keg. And my kids, I'm like, where the kids at? Like, y'all ain't eating and drinking up.
but okay. Whatever. Well, listen, we want to thank you so much, Scooby Life, for hanging out with us. Thank you for always being in the comments, and we just appreciate it. Guys, check out the description so that you can get the information on the blog and our YouTube channel, as well as Instagram. But thank you so much for hanging out with me and my brother.
Wow.
Well,
I have to apologize for him and my brother.
Well, I'm always there on the weekends.
We listened to us long enough to know, like, I'm going to say something stupid, so you don't really have to apologize.
Okay. All right.
It's great being on the show. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming, Scooby Life. Make sure you check out Scooby Life at theScoobylife on Instagram and follow her journey with her dogs and, say hi.
Adopt a dog, adopt a dog, adopt a cat.
Adopt a rescue. Adopt a rescue.
rescue dog.
Go to California and adopt a rescue. Drive 3,000 miles. You're in Jersey, drive 3,000 miles. Take a dog, drive it back.
Yep.
And that sounds like something you would do, Kitty.
That does sound like something I would do.
Maybe not in the winter, but yeah.
But
Hey, it is what it is. But thank you very much. Next week, we have no idea what we're talking about, but I'm gonna think about it while I watch The Family Guy tonight.
and we will be back.
And eat up the ice cream that my sister left here last week.
Oh wait, my chocolate peanut butter?
Yeah, forget about it.
Oh man.
Forget about it.
I didn't even get to taste it.
No, you didn't. It was freshly open when I got it. Yeah.
Well, you enjoy. And again, Scooby Life, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will be back next week. We will see you guys later. We wish you love, peace, and pop culture.
God bless your soul and keep living. Peace.
Bye.
Thank you for geeking out with Kathy and Kenny on Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture.